If I could ever make one suggestion to any silver investor, it would be that they understand Comex isn't the battleground anymore. While Comex rigged casino has enriched a handful of criminals, it also gives you cheap silver, but not for long. Don't worry about Comex or spot price. The entire exchange is corrupt and may impact day-to-day price action, but BRICS has short-circuited the wiring. Folks, we have some major news to cover in this video. I really encourage you to watch all the way through because this article just keeps on giving and giving. We are talking about some serious geopolitical stuff going on and how severe this could affect the price of precious metals. Anyways, my name is Silver Slayer. I post daily silver videos, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell if you like this type of stuff. And if you want to enter a giveaway to win some free silver, click the link in the description. It's my second channel. I'm picking a random comment from the first video I posted on that channel about Project MK Ultra. So, with that said, I will link this article in the description from the Silver Academy. It's talking about Mexico joining the BRICS, Silver Revolution, West's paper casino exposed as China, India, Russia, and Iran tighten global grip. Now, the BRICS nations is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, but there's many more countries. It's basically G7 versus the BRICS, but right now, we are seeing a huge power shift happen across the world. Luckily, with Trump at least in place, we might have, not fixed, but at least saved the United States from complete collapse. I mean, people are already losing faith in the dollar, and we were the laughingstock during the Biden administration. So right now, it does seem like for Americans, things are getting a little better, but regardless, the BRICS nations are taking over. They have the Belt Road Initiative. They have a lot going on for them. Anyways, if you wanted to know about the BRICS nations or go deeper into it, just watch any of my interviews with Andy Scheckman. We have a podcast, and Andy is the most well-versed in the BRICS than anyone else. I do a weekly podcast with him. He's also the CEO of Miles Franklin, which is a big precious metals company. If you wanted to purchase from Andy, send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let him know Slayer sent you. Helps me out. He has a huge inventory, weekly specials. So yeah. Anyways, world's #1 silver producer abandons U.S. control. This is the endgame for Comex manipulators as BRICS outfoxes the West. What do they mean by Comex manipulators? Well, the Comex suppresses the price of silver by flooding the market with paper silver, digital silver. These contracts that are supposed to be also held in vaults, physical silver in these vaults, but there's not that much. So they're basically leveraging the market because everyone thinks that they own some 1,000-ounce Comex bar in some vault with these contracts, and if they turned it in, that they think there's an actual bar with their name on it in some vault, but there's not. And if everyone were to turn in their paper contracts to physical delivery, it would expose this corruption. But most people don't stand for delivery, right? Not many people do. So that's how they're able to keep this facade up. That's how they're able to suppress the price. So U.S. Treasury holdings, LHS, and gold reserves, RHS, in percentage of total Chinese FX reserves. And by the way, in China exchanges, you have to actually turn in physical gold and silver if you want a paper contract. So you could see how the Western exchanges versus, exchanges like the Shanghai Gold Exchange is much different. They're going off of a fair system because to actually get a contract, you have to give them physical silver or gold. We don't do that. China, India, Russia, Iran, and their allies aren't just hoarding gold, they've zeroed in on the US banking and military establishment's weak spot, which is cheap gold and silver, especially silver. And as the main players in the global silver squeeze, they're now calling the shots. And imagine if you're a country like Russia who's definitely not, it's looking like they're not ending any wars anytime soon or even wanting to. If anything, creating more wars. Think of how much silver they're going to need. And they incorporate this, especially since silver is one of the main players in military equipment. And right now, getting it for cheap and accessing it at all is probably the most important. Not only just talking about paying too much for an ounce of silver, eventually you're not even going to be able to get the ounce even if you're willing to pay the price. And that's the way that's really the key factor between people that understand the shortage and don't. It's not even going to be about just not wanting to pay a high enough price. It's going to be, I can't get it even if I wanted to pay the higher price. There just won't be any of it. And that's why you see someone like Elon Musk buying a silver mine. If I could ever make one suggestion to any silver investor, it would be that they understand Comex isn't the battleground anymore. While Comex rigged casino has enriched a handful of criminals, right, by the way, JP Morgan, a lot of them are the top dogs on the Comex, and JP Morgan is known for manipulating the price of silver. Their employees sent to prison for manipulating the price of silver. But it gives you cheap silver, but not for long. Don't worry about Comex or spot price. The entire exchange is corrupt and may impact day-to-day price action, but BRICS has short-circuited the wiring. The Comex silver market operates a paper casino where hundreds of paper contracts, this is what I'm talking about, some reports suggest up to 450 per physical ounce, are traded without ever settling in metal, creating a system where price discovery is disconnected from physical scarcity. And that's what I was talking about. And that means every ounce of silver you own, 450 other people theoretically think they own the same ounce. And that's why I say, if you can't hold it, you don't own it. You think you do, but the only person that does is the guy sitting in Montana or Ohio or California that's holding it in his bare hand. If you can't hold it, you don't own it. This manipulation is increasingly being bypassed by global market forces and strategic resource plays. China, as a major industrial power, is rapidly expanding its influence over global silver supply chains, not through Comex, but by locking down access at the source. Through its Belt and Road Initiative, China has invested heavily in Latin American ports and infrastructure, securing direct relationships with silver producers in Peru and Mexico. This network allows China to import silver concentrate directly from mines, bypassing traditional commodity exchanges and Western middlemen entirely. And by purchasing silver concentrate and refining it domestically, China is building a quote-unquote shadow supply chain that is invisible to Western commodity desks and Comex traders. This approach allows China to secure vast quantities of silver without triggering price spikes on public exchanges. Meanwhile, arbitrage opportunities where silver is bought cheaply in Western markets and sold at a premium in China are limited by the sheer scale and opacity of China's off-exchange deals. And I remember Sean Kunkun talked about this last year with Andy Schectman. Sean Kunkun is the CEO of Dolly Varden, and Andy Schectman, I had actually both CEOs on. It's pretty cool. I ran a show that had two different CEOs of multi-billion-dollar companies on my show at the same time. It was us three having a conversation. Just how unique of a situation is that, where I could have a conversation with two CEOs of multi-billion dollar companies. One is digging the silver out of the ground. The other one's selling the silver and gold, and then it's just me too, right? It's just me, just a random guy just making silver videos, talking to two different guys that are running the games. It's just I'm very blessed to be in this situation. Anyways, Uh, so as a result, Comex manipulators are losing their grip, and this is what Ted Butler's talked about a lot. China's direct contracts and port investments shift the balance of power, draining available supply for the West and making Comex's paper market increasingly irrelevant. In this new paradigm, BRICS nations and their allies are rewiring global silver flows, ensuring that physical demand, not paper speculation, will ultimately determine price and availability. China has invested heavily in new deep water port in Peru in this $3.6 billion project spearheaded by China's state-owned COSCO Shipping as part of China's Belt and Road Initiative. The port aims to become a major shipping hub connecting China and Latin America, potentially reducing shipping times and logistics costs. Just 2 days ago, we broke the story. Mexico, the world's top silver producer, is decisively abandoning the West's sinking ship and redirecting its silver straight into the hands of BRICS. And maybe, just maybe, okay, the guy that writes this, John Forrest Little, does not like Trump. All of Trump's attacks on Mexican immigrants have backfired, fueling a historic realignment with the West that they can no longer ignore. Now, yeah, John Forrest Little, see right here, he's definitely not a Trumper. I am, right? I really am. But, at the end of the day, to each his own. He does come up with some. This guy is definitely at the top of silver exposure investigative journalism. He's very good at this. He's the one that exposed the amount of silver needed in the military and aerospace sector that isn't getting reported to the Silver Institute, or as he calls them, the Scammy Silver Institute, and the DoD, the Military Defense and Department of Defense, the military industrial complex, not reporting their silver since 2002, and why they have stockpiles, and how if we are already a negative $700 billion in the last 3 years, it's actually much higher than that, since military is a bigger sector than EVs alone, and EVs are the top sector. So we're talking about a much bigger shortage than even the Silver Institute's even saying, which is already extremely severe. So anyways, John Forrest Little's definitely he's a character, but this stuff is real, folks. This stuff is real. This stuff is real. Think about that. This isn't, when people, like with cryptocurrency, people will talk about some altcoin or some coin to buy because it's going to explode, but they have no reason why. They just are saying this out of pure speculation. This stuff is really happening behind closed doors and in front of closed doors. And like I made the video the other day, David Bateman, a billionaire, he just bought $1 billion worth of silver. And now you have Putin, which is my latest video, now buying silver. First time, he's buying silver now. He's focusing on silver. And you have these other countries, India, buying massive amounts of silver. Banks buying massive amounts of silver. All right now. Why? Why right now? It's like they know something. It's like they know something. And then this type of information just further validates it and gives it, it really does, it's the missing puzzle piece. So things are about to get crazy. I'm not saying it's going to happen next week, not next month, maybe not even next year, but are you in this for the short term? Or are you someone who is just trying to get rich quick? Is that what you're in this for? Or are you in this for long-term preservation of wealth as the dollar is rapidly deflating in purchasing power? Let me know in the comment section below. Anyways, folks, if you are a veteran or if you know anyone else who is a veteran, then I've partnered with American medical experts. Over 17 million vets don't get the proper benefits that they deserve. Over 17 million. And with AME, American Medical Experts, I can give you a free consultation with a doctor. Legit services. You can go through telehealth, and it's not just physical disabilities or whatever, mental health as well. If you know anyone click the link in the description, get a free consultation. I love the veterans of this country and thank them for their service, and this is just my way of being able to give back. Click the link, because if you are someone who has served this country and you're pushed to the side, that is, I'm sorry. I'm sorry the way this country's went has gotten to this point. To be honest, I don't even know how to nicely say it, but at least use the services out there that can help you. And AME is definitely one of them. I talked to the CEO for over an hour on the phone. He's very passionate about this. He's helped tons of people. He's been doing this for over 30 years. A plus on the Better Business Bureau. It's a legit, very, very good company, just helping vets out. So yeah, I'm very honored to be able to partner with them. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.